Sorry I'm late.
It's okay, Tony. You're fired. It's your last show, but it's okay.
We have comments for both.
Hey, I can't get into VidPresso, so I wasn't able to pull anything. Did you pull up VidPresso?
Amanda hasn't taught me how to do it yet.
Okay.
But I figured.
Okay.
I'll have her teach me the next time tomorrow or something so that I can do it.
For some reason, it keeps. I am full screen. Yes. I am broadcasting. Yes. Thank you, everybody. We had a really. I don't know what made me think of this. I have no idea what made me. Oh, the bricks. We had an interesting story today. Did you guys know that wet hay can catch on fire?
No.
Wait, tell us what happened. I wasn't in that part of the meeting.
Here's the explanation, Tony. PJ came back and told me. He was talking about how there was this big fire because of wet hay. Basically what happens, mulch, there's a big thing with mulch also. Mulch or hay, it gets wet. It starts to form this bacteria. The bacteria starts to release methane. The dry hay on the top keeps everything in. The methane builds up and boom, it explodes.
Well, that makes sense.
So mulch. I did a bunch of mulch fires when I was back in Baltimore, and I couldn't remember why they caught on fire. I just know that they did, and PJ explained. I just thought that was an interesting fact.
So it has to do with the manure, the gases coming from the manure. Is that in the mulch?
The gas is coming. The methane is coming from the bacteria that's growing in the wet hay.
Okay.
Yeah. Little science dorky fact for you.
I like it.
You're welcome, everybody. You just go ahead and
Thank you.
Pay me.
Someone having feedback, it sounds like.
Can you hear me? Come on.
Welcome everyone into the News 404. This show where you don't just watch, we're asking you to join in. We're talking about hot stories, trending topics, viral videos, and the latest in your tech news. So let's go ahead and get started. And we are starting off this morning with a look at what's trending online. Locally, the most read story on mynews4.com is suspect ID pending in double homicide, high-speed chase, and shootout. That chase lasted nearly 85 miles until it ended at Sand Mountain Campsite in Churchill County, where the suspect reportedly died after a shootout. Police say that 2 women were found dead at a home in Washoe Valley. Reno police and Washoe County sheriffs are awaiting a positive ID of the suspect. We'll bring you that information as we get it. Nationally on CNN.com, the most read story this morning is gas prices rising, but glut coming. Gas prices were expected to pretty much stay on par with last summer's range, but the increase in violence in Iraq, the march on major cities by Islamic militants could actually push those gas prices higher. Many analysts don't expect to see U.S. gas prices pass a nationwide average, though, of $4 per gallon. That's the good news, and let's see. On FoxNews.com, the most read story this morning is sources, Benghazi attack suspect captured en route to U.S. According to Fox News, a suspected terrorist linked to the 2012 Benghazi terror attack that killed 4 Americans, including U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens, has been captured inside Libya by U.S. forces. Sources told Fox News that the suspect was captured Sunday during a joint U.S. military and law enforcement operation, and that he will face prosecution here in the U.S. Trending on Twitter this morning is hashtag World Cup 2014. World Cup fever has hit the United States after Team USA beat Ghana last night. Did you watch it? Celebrations are happening across the U.S., of course, as the team prepares for its next big game. U.S. goes against powerhouse Portugal on Sunday. Woo, keep those fingers crossed, people. That's a tough team. Ronaldo. All right, now on to our viewer voice segment where we ask you, the viewer, to chat with us about some of the trending topics of the day. You can find those topics on our Facebook page about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we would love to have you live on air with us. All you have to do is have a Google Plus account and circle me, Melissa Carlson. Our first story, a Texas dog owner claims that a delivery driver slashed her animals. Now some are asking, who was in the wrong? Kata Pulper explains.
For Laura Kroll, her dogs are part of the family. What she says happened to 2 of them Friday night has left her shaken and angry.
We were at our local neighborhood lake park. having fun on the boat, and our neighbor called frantic and said the UPS driver just cut your dog.
Kroll and her husband rushed home to find a package on their doorstep, surrounded by puddles of blood.
It looked like someone had been murdered on our front porch.
They found more blood on the driveway and inside the house. After being hurt, the dogs went in through the doggy door. Kroll's husband posted this picture of Samson on Facebook.
Sam has over 50 stitches and some staples in his mouth because it went so deep that it went through his cheek into his gums.
Their Great Dane, Seamus, has cuts as well.
Right under his eye, a gash, and then a big gash down on his cheek. Yes, my dogs are big and they bark. Yes, they bark, but they are not aggressive. We get deliveries all the time. 6 years, never had this happen.
Kroll says their yard is surrounded by an invisible fence, and the dogs can only go halfway down the driveway. She says their delivery drivers know to leave packages at the end, not on the front porch. The family called the Travis County Sheriff's Department. A deputy came out to the house and told them that the UPS driver could face animal cruelty charges.
I want him to pay our medical bills for our dogs.
Kroll also wants an apology and for the driver to lose his job.
That was Quita Culpepper reporting. UPS released a statement saying, quote, "We apologize for the outcome of the encounter between our driver and our customer's dog. We do not condone the carrying of knives or any other defensive device. This situation is currently being investigated. We will speak with our driver and the customer, and we're going to take the appropriate actions once all facts are known," end quote. We got a lot of response on Facebook on this one today when we posted it in regards to who's at fault here. If the driver was concerned about himself, potentially concerned about the dogs and his safety, did he have the right to take the means that were necessary? Or no, he should have just backed out of there. By the way, UPS says they do have a standard in place where if the driver does feel that they are threatened at any point, they can just take that package right back to the distribution center and tell the person to come pick it up themselves. Asking our Google Plus group what you think about it, who made the wrong move here or fault on both sides. Nate, what do you think?
Well, from the story, I think there's a doggy door. So if all the dogs were inside and the guy was unsuspecting and put the door down, ring the doorbell, and the dogs come racing at him and he didn't have me, so all he had was a box cutter, then that's totally understandable. But that would have to be about the only excuse, I think.
Matt, what do you think?
I'm going to have to agree. It does sound like that was kind of the situation. And the driver, there was an invisible fence, but there's no way for the driver to have known that. There's no way for him to have known that if he escaped the property, that the dogs would not have followed him out there. If that is the first thing that he was able to grab, he's not trained in self-defense like a police officer. So if that's what he did, unfortunately for the dogs, I think it's not the fault of the driver.
Tony, what do we have on Facebook?
Well, Jennifer says there's a sign clearly posted stating that there's an invisible fence, and UPS that their drivers are not allowed to carry knives or guns. Alicia says, no, we should not be, the UPS man should not be fired, but it's up to us as pet owners to ensure the safety of our pets.
And I wonder too, it's a box cutter. The guy delivers boxes. I have a question about that. It wasn't clear on the segment whether or not he was able to carry that box cutter. It seemed like a handy tool for somebody who delivers boxes, but maybe not. All right, let's go ahead and on to our next topic. 200,000 Comcast customers in the Seattle region are becoming public Wi-Fi hotspots, and they may not even know about it. It's all part of Comcast's plan to expand internet availability. Matt Markovich reports on who's affected.
It's a mantra preached by internet experts. Know who's using your home wireless network.
That's why Comcast is making Xfinity Wi-Fi available at thousands of convenient hotspots.
But now Comcast is launching a new network of 200,000 wireless hotspots in our region. But customers may not know their homes are the hotspot. The new Aris wireless modems are being installed by Comcast now have two signals, one for home use and one controlled by Comcast that anyone can access without the homeowner's knowledge.
When customers understand how it's used, they really like it.
Comcast says it's to expand free wireless access to neighborhoods around the country for existing Comcast customers. But for non-customers, they have to pay. And that's why some say it's a money grab by Comcast on the backs of its customers who are powering and paying for their routers. To prove how it works, we did a test. We drove around a random neighborhood to see if we could find an Xfinity Wi-Fi signal, Up came an explanation from Comcast explaining how I can log in and use their Wi-Fi network here from this house. For non-customers, the first hour is free, $2.95 for the next hour, $7.95 for the day, $19.95 for the week. Comcast says this second network is totally secure.
They're essentially looked at as a temporary customer at that point, and so they're traceable.
Comcast says it sent this letter letting homeowners know of the second public wireless network and that speeds aren't affected.
We've got enough bandwidth there that we're able to make sure that your speeds remain the same.
In the future, the Xfinity Wi-Fi home hotspot solution could enable millions of hotspots across the country.
If you don't want to opt into Comcast Stream, call them. They'll disable the second network for you. In Seattle, Matt Markovich, KOMO 4 News.
So it looks like, it's not really going to affect you that much. You don't know it's there. Many people don't know it's there. It's not going to affect your speeds, but some people have an issue with it. Anyways, our only Comcast, by the way, customers who subscribe to the performance or blast internet plans or actually have an Arius wireless modem are affected by all this that's happening. Again, this is only in Seattle. But there are those who say, listen, I paid for this service. This should be only for me. I don't want other people feeding off of my service as well. And by the way, I didn't know much about it. Comcast says, hey, they sent out a letter. I don't know who reads all those letters, but the people who are vigilant do. Kia, let me ask you, what do you think? Do you have a problem with it being done? Even if people didn't know about it in the first place?
Yes, I definitely do. I am a Comcast customer for one, and I have a tech background, and I know just from that background that it's dicey as far as playing this game and using other people's private information to provide a public service. I mean, they might as well put a sign on everyone's home saying, hackers come here. This is where you need to start cracking them first. So it's not a wise decision, in my opinion.
Kempton, if they say, though, this is a secure network, it's not going to be a problem with you, do you still have an issue with it?
Oh yeah, totally. They say that it's secure until someone cracks it. And now there are millions of this kind of routers, so it's a huge target for hackers to hack once, and then they can have blanket access. And the other thing is, they say that it's for people in your house, guests in your house. Well, no. The Wi-Fi signal are so strong these days that they can. I don't want people parking in my front yard, like driveway, sidewalk, and then use my network. Like, I don't want people to sit there all day.
Right, and sit outside of your house while they're looking away at whatever they might be looking at. And by the way, they're getting charged off of your router as well. Pretty interesting. All right, thanks everybody. We appreciate it. We would love to hear what you have to say. You can go ahead and post your comments on our Facebook and our Google Plus page. All right, coming up next, are you a tech newbie? Need some help in making your first big purchase? Social media coach Kim Beasley, she's here to help. Stay with us.
I don't agree with either one of you. It's going to be as secure as the Wi-Fi you set up in your own home. And you have to be a Comcast customer to access that public Wi-Fi. Which means you have to log on as, it's not just for any Joe Schmo. You have to be a Comcast
until someone figures out a way to crack it.
Alex, he's here. I'm just going to say stay with us. We'll be back with weather. I'll keep it nice and short. And then if we need to, we will cut the video of the day.
Would you rather hack into someone's a Comcast and someone's Wi-Fi, or would you rather just hack into someone's Wi-Fi?
Even their legitimate customer, paying or for free, I don't want someone sitting in their car outside my sidewalk all day long. Like, they are legally logging onto, but I don't want that.
Thanks for helping.
If it is a business, that's fine. Like business, they can do like our cable here. There are many hotspots where businesses actually do provide this service, but not home. And home is a huge issue, right? And security, like here said, until they hack it, that's the problem, right? It is secure right now.
What you're guessing is that they're going to hack both Comcast and an outside Wi-Fi signal that they're not allowed to, or that's harder than just hacking your Wi-Fi as it is already. But why would they hack two things when they can just hack one?
You have millions of targets, right? And once they hack once, is it a big red flag, like a red shirt or fighting a bull? Hey, heck me.
Well, you're worried about them hacking your Wi-Fi. If they're doing it through this public thing, then they'd be able to do it through the private one as well.
It's attacking one source, and then you have millions of access points.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
think.
the problem.
I mean, I think this discussion could go on forever, but my point remains: I am highly skeptical.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, it's all they have to do is figure out how to get
Are
into.
you looking to purchase your first or maybe additional technology? This segment is the first of 3 Tech Tuesdays, where social media coach Kim Beasley is going to be sharing some tips to help you identify key things that you need to keep in mind before you make the big purchase. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for being with us. Okay, so what mistakes should computer buyers avoid? There are a lot of them out there.
Okay, so the reason why I decided to go with this series is because I have a friend who came to me, and she's a senior citizen, and she asked my help to go with her to shop for a new computer. So I thought this would be a great thing to share for senior citizens to help them purchase their technology. Now, there are some things you got to keep in mind. Don't go cheap. When you go cheap, you're going to open yourself up to issues that actually you don't need to. Things like the price factor should not stop you from buying your computer, because there's something that's it's not what you want, and you'll be disappointed by some of the cheap things that come with your computer. The slowness, the features that will be missing. So I definitely say don't go cheap. And feature deprived. Make sure you have the basics like a USB port. Make sure you have good memory, and make sure that it's upgradable. Sometimes when you buy a computer, you can't upgrade the memory, and make sure that the graphics and the processor are at a decent speed. Now, I'll be writing a blog post to explain further about basic information.
All right, and you said there are some of the must-haves that you have to have when you're picking out a computer.
Right, you have to decide, do you want a laptop or do you want a desktop? Desktop is good if you want a static location and you're not going to be taking your computer on the go. Laptop is good if you want to be mobile with your computer. And then you look at things like, do I want a PC, do I want an Apple? And you can determine that by checking out what your friends have. If they have mostly PCs, go with a PC. If they have mostly Apples, go with the Apple. And finally, like I mentioned before about features, make sure you figure out what features you want and that they're included in the computer that you purchase.
I think this is a great tip too. You need to be knowledgeable about where you're making the purchase of this new computer.
Oh yes, there are some key things, especially for newbies. One of the first things is there a teaching or training department where you're purchasing your computer? Can you go in and learn more about how to manage and use your computer? Do they have a support desk that you can take your computer to if you run into problems with your computer? And finally, is the staff knowledgeable? Do they know what they're talking about, or are they just spouting off things that they've memorized?
All right, be aware. A lot of good tips. Kim, thank you so much. And if you'd like to find more information about Kim, you can find it on our website, mynews4.com, or reach her here at any of these 3 locations, Google+, Twitter, or the web. All right, stay with us. We're going to be right back with a look at your forecast.
I forgot to turn off Facebook.
What about Vid?
Sorry about that, guys.
So I'd kill bump and I'd kill video. You start timing right off the top.
So 25 off the top, and then we'll all go into weather. Like we'll chit chat and I'll go right into.
It's easier to kill the bump and the video now because once we get into this next block, you can't kill anything from there, and there's nothing to kill in the final block either. So we'll have to do the slaughtering is going to have to happen in this block.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. In our matching orange.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, everybody. Alex Sachs joins us with a look at our forecast for today. I woke up this morning and I thought, gosh, it's either really smoky outside or foggy.
Yep, and it was a little damp feeling. I know that we've got that humidity was a little bit higher this morning. We've got some precipitation falling in a lot of northern Nevada, but it was so much cooler this morning.
Felt great.
It did kind of. It was a nice little break for us, huh? Especially after the windy conditions we had yesterday. Kind of getting a little break before some more warm weather comes. You know, the official start of summer is this weekend. So it was a nice little break for now. But with all this cloud cover, I've been talking about this all week. It makes for some beautiful photos. I know a lot of folks have been snapping some shots of the skyline. I like to call this eye in the sky. I guess I invented that myself, but Karina Woodbury is awesome. She sent this photo into our KRNV News 4 Facebook page. Very beautiful. Thank you so much for sending that in. If you ever have a photo that you snapped that you'd like to share with us, please feel free to do so. So like I said, we're a lot cooler today. We've got 56 degrees in Reno right now, 54 in Fallon, all Vegas, but we're not going to quite see that today. In fact, we're much below that average. Yesterday, we topped out at 75 degrees. 56 was our overnight low. So overnight lows are actually still a little bit above average, but you can certainly see the difference here about with the average high and for the average high and what we saw yesterday. Now, we didn't have any precipitation yesterday. There's a slight chance late this afternoon. I'll talk about that in a second, but your sun set is so these days still are long. Let's take a look at our satellite radar once we get that into motion for you. There's that moisture that we're talking about landing into northern Nevada and even into the eastern part of our state, really sticking in there. We've had some of those showers this morning. That could continue this afternoon. Maybe some isolated thunderstorms. They're not picking up a whole lot of moisture. I want to show you our Doppler radar here along the 80, Battle Mountain, Winnemucca, seeing just very little raindrops as we speak. So that's what they're certainly seeing over there. 59 is the high, 31 for Elko. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. So a lot cooler there. This cold front, this cold storm is really impacting a lot of northern Nevada. 71 and 49 for Hawthorne, 69 the high for Fallon. Lovelock's going to match that. And overnight lows staying in the 40s. And then as for the lake, 61 for South Lake Tahoe, 36 the low. Sunny up at the lake though. They're getting clearing out some of those clouds. Now we did have gusty conditions this morning. Those are going to decrease a lot as we head deeper into the afternoon. So those gusts aren't going to stick around. It's going to be a lot lighter wind-wise. 69 the high for our capital city, 44 the overnight low. And then up north, not quite breaking in the 70s here, just north of Reno, 67 and 45. Now Susanville could see moisture before Reno does today. Reno's got about a 20% chance, sitting at 71 as the high today, 47 the overnight low, partly cloudy skies. And if you are heading out to the Aces ball game tonight, they're playing Oklahoma City, 67 is looking like the temperature for the first pitch. I would certainly bring a jacket if you're heading out to that game tonight. So 80s for the rest of the week. We're going to have a really quick warm-up. Could even hit 90s by Monday and Sunday, so the end of your weekend. Partly cloudy skies, but we're going to get a lot warmer as we head towards the end or the start of summer. Melissa?
All right, Alex, thank you so much for that. Stay with us. Your tech news is coming up. Were you hearing those, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. It's my fault.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, how's your first experience? Huh? You're muted.
Welcome back, everybody. Now in your tech news, it's a trend among tech companies. Technology allowing people to remotely control lights, locks, view security cameras, and a lot more all at their home. But there are some concerns. What if U.S. intelligence agencies or local law enforcement wanted to access that data? Well, once home security footage is stored on a server outside your home, police can get that data, either with a search warrant or a subpoena, which has to be, by the way, authorized by a judge. The search warrant does. So some are warning that if you are going to buy this technology, read over your terms of service carefully so that you know what data the company will share with or without a legal order. Emoji lovers, get ready. 250 new emoji or emoticons are going to be landing on phone keyboards soon. Unicode, the company that standardizes texting, announced the addition Monday. Among the new expressors are an extended few things that maybe I shouldn't say on here: a bullhorn, a floppy disk, and a few religious symbols. That's nice to get that in there. Unicode still hasn't fixed the lack of diversity in emoji. Texters have been buzzing about. A lot of people chatting about what's new. The complete chart of the new emoji renderings is available on their website if you'd like to check them out. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at an incredible video that may have you thinking twice before you jump into the ocean. We'll explain coming up.
Melissa, can you hear us?
Okay. So I do that tanning lotion.
I am going to head out. I think it's Antonia. Okay, she's already gone.
Finally, here on the forum, we've all seen video of people getting into the cage to feed some sharks, but how about one where they had no idea that there was a shark around them? Check this out. Terry Tufferson posted this video of him jumping off of a rock into Sydney Harbor. You can hear his friend yell out, "Shark!" And as they look underwater, a huge great white shark appears. Don't worry, by the way, this guy did make it out alive, but it was posted more than a week ago. Already has 19 million views. You can find it on our Facebook page if you'd like to repost. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here on News 4 at noon. Audio, 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 audio.
We can hear you now.
Oh, did Tony walk away? Just left her camera going? Oh, there she is. Look at this. Look, can I just make a quick observance? Orange. Alex is orange. Tony is orange. And Chu, one of our reporters, also wearing orange today. It's just one of those days.
Are you serious?
Great minds, I tell you.
Oh, my goodness.
So thanks, you guys, for coming back. Kia, what'd you think?
Oh, I loved it. Definitely topics that could be talked about all day today.
Right? I know. That's what everybody said. They're always like, we hear so often, oh, I wish we had more time to talk about the topic. And we wish we had more time to talk about the topic, too. But we got commercials. We gotta throw in what we can. And keep it moving. So you guys, thanks for coming in. And we'll be back tomorrow.
Okay.
If you're around, come on back.
Okay.
Holla.
Thanks.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
I was muted the whole time. Bye.